Giant Alberta has taken us out in every kind of weather so far. Snow in Andrew, green fields in Glendon, summer light in Vilna. Today is no different. This episode was shot across 3 different seasons, which is either a testament to how long this project has been in the works or proof that Alberta keeps changing its mind. Either way, we're headed east. Further east than we've been so far. Out past St. Paul through the small towns along the Saskatchewan border and all the way to the edge of Alberta itself. This is Giant Alberta. Hello and welcome to the video. If this is your first time here, my name is Mike. If you've been here before, my name is still Mike, but you would have known that already. It's 1967. Canada is celebrating its centennial, and communities across the country are looking for ways to mark the occasion. And the town of St. Paul, Alberta makes a proposal. They want to build the world's first UFO landing pad, and the federal government says yes. On June 3rd, 1967, Canada's Minister of National Defence flew in by helicopter to officially open the pad, which feels like exactly the right way to arrive. St. Paul was declared the Centennial Capital of Canada that day. The pad itself is a raised concrete platform weighing over 130 tons, with a map of Canada on the back constructed from stones donated by every province. There's a time capsule buried on site, set to be opened in 2067 on the landing pad's 100th anniversary. The sign next to it reads in part, "The area is designated international, open to all intergalactic beings, all visitors from Earth or otherwise." Nobody has landed yet, but the town has a plan for when they do. Local tradition holds that any extraterrestrial visitors will be welcomed with pierogies, garlic sausage, and pea soup. Given what we've seen in the last 2 episodes, that tracks. Head southeast from St. Paul and you'll find Dewberry, a small community that wears a specific identity with pride. Dewberry calls itself the chuckwagon driver capital of Alberta, and they mean it. Chuckwagon racing has deep roots here, and in 1995 the town decided to build something permanent to honor the sport. What they came up with was a chuckwagon, built at 1.5 times the size of a regular standard racing wagon, fully functional, meticulously constructed, and sitting on a trailer inside a 3-sided building where it's been sheltered ever since. The details mattered with this one. The wheel components were sourced from an Amish community in Ontario, a choice that connects old world craftsmanship to a very Alberta tradition. A brass plaque on the wagon reads, "Built by Moza Wheelwright and Carriage Shop, Lyndon, Alberta." Somebody built this thing by hand, the right way, because the sport deserved it. That kind of care tends to outlast the moment it was made for. At the far eastern edge of Alberta, the road brings you to Lloydminster, and Lloydminster is a place that requires a small amount of explanation. The bar colonists settled here in 1903. 2 years later, when the provinces of Alberta and Saskatchewan were created, the surveyors drew the boundary right through the middle of town. The residents petitioned to have the border moved, but nobody listened, and so Lloydminster became something unique in North America. A city chartered in 2 provinces simultaneously, with a provincial border running down its main street. In 1994, the city marked its reality with 4 giant red steel pillars, 30 meters tall, standing along the boundary line near City Hall and the Yellowhead Highway. Each one is designed to resemble the original survey stakes used to divide the provinces back in the 1870s. The gap running up the center of each marker represents the actual border. They represent 4 themes: oil and gas, the bar colonists, agriculture, and First Nations and Métis peoples. Stand at the right spot and you can sight along the gap between the columns just the way the original surveyors did with their instruments 150 years ago. 1 foot in Alberta, 1 foot in Saskatchewan. Not many places can offer you that. So, 3 more stops across this corner of Alberta, a landing pad for visitors from another world, a wagon built by hand for a sport that defines a community, and 4 pillars standing on a border that split a town in 2. If you enjoyed this little journey, give that like button a tap. It's free and oddly satisfying. If you haven't subscribed yet, just know I share a new small town story every week. weather permitting, of course. Feel free to pass this along to your aunt, your neighbor, or that one friend who still thinks Alberta ends in Calgary. They need this more than they know. If you'd like to chip in and help keep the drone batteries charged and the gas tank filled, there's a Ko-fi link in the description. And you can find Gradient Imaging on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, because apparently I'm not busy enough. But until next week, drive safe, wave at strangers, and take the scenic route.